Okay, so how much does it cost to run a 150cc here in Kenya? First things first, an insurance will cost you around 6,000 shillings per year, an averagely, of course. And of course, it will help you the same day as when Jesus comes back. So it's very helpful. And it's a 150cc, so you can imagine it takes around, it runs for around 40 kilometers for every liter. That is depending on the way you tune your carburetor. Oil changes are pretty much advisable around 4,000 kilometers averagely. Some people do 5,000, some people do 3,000, but I personally do 2,000 because I spent money on something and I have to maintain it. If you have tools and you can get around knowing one or two things about motorcycles, then probably kwenda kwa fundi is not your portion. You can handle very, very, very tiny things, like I'm handling my starter right now. And my fuel cap, I realize it has a lot of rust, and so I'm dealing with it. I just opened everything there and washed them. So I'm doing that for free. Anyway, you need to also get tubeless tires like this one. They save a lot when it comes to punctures, because when this one has a puncture, it still runs for very, very, very many kilometers before you even realize that something happened to it. My front tire though is not a tubeless tire, but of course I ride like a king, so I rarely have puncture problems. Again, brake pads, not so often unless you are riding like a maniac, so you don't really have to worry about your brakes like that. And what else? Your wiring is one very big thing, so you need to have your wires connected carefully, because when you have problems with your wiring, it will cost you a lot. And what else? Your chain tightening. That's a thing you should be able to do by yourself if you own one of these. It's a very simple procedure. You need to learn that, and you will be doing it for free. Yeah, so inside these wheels we have what we call bearings. So be very careful with the way you handle your bumps and your muddy roads, because replacing those also will cost you. They're also available inside here in the front hub, so be very careful how you run inside mud and other dangerous roads. When you check your cables regularly, like the clutch cables, like mine here is a little very well maintained, and your brake cables very well maintained, and my speedometer cable very well maintained. These ones will cost you around 150 shillings each of those cables to have new ones. Other than that, that is pretty much the cost you need when you have fuel and you can do your maintenance by yourself, and you can tighten nuts and you can check your cables. If you can do that regularly, like once in 2 weeks, and you check everything, depending on also how you ride. This is a private bike, so I rarely ever do some mischievous work like running on very, very, very bad roads. So when you have your bike with a lot of wiring, kama wale wase wameweka maredio, manini, and you have a lot of lights around, you're prone to having wiring problems, because now you have a lot of things to deal with and a lot of wires to be looking at. But my bike has no many things. I've decided I'm not going to be modifying it too much, because I need it to retain the sale value that it came with. And so for that, I don't really have a lot of things to look at. When I look at my wires, I just look at here and somewhere around the seat, and I'm done. My dashboard really has no problems a lot, and my speedometer still counts, even though I have made around 40,000 kilometers with this bike. So that is it. Actually, in a nutshell, when you have this bike and you're running tubeless tires, and you're checking it regularly for any malformations, the only problem you can have is with your engine. But if you have a good record of changing your oil and not misusing it, then probably you're good to go. The only thing that will cost you is replacing things that actually have wear and tear inside the engine, like the timing chain and your pistons and your piston rings, which you will also do once in a while if you're a good rider. Yeah, so what is the average cost of owning a 150cc? I would say it runs at around okay, I don't know, do we like check out the price of the fuel? Or yeah, because it depends with how you ride. Again, it's not everyone will use the same fuel. I use around 300 shillings per week, but that is the way I ride and where I come from to work and back home. with my little errands. But of course, so yeah, I'm going to take that one out. But let me say, if you're riding well and you are not really misusing the shocks by carrying some heavyweight passengers and handling bumps very wrongly, you pretty much need around 2,000 shillings every month to run this beast. And that one is actually, well, some months you won't need to be adding anything to it. Actually, some months will just go without you using your 2K. But if you can have at least 2K to keep every month, you'll be okay. That will also mean that you have these and that you can do some little bit of maintenance by yourself. When you get back home and you realize one nut is loose, like in some politicians' heads, you can, of course, do some work by yourself. I have my tools in handy, so I really don't have any complaints. I think with that, it's the end of this video. Thanks for watching and thanks for being here. I appreciate your support and thank you very much.